Beautiful souls. So let's talk about presence. So I read this research study this weekend that was talking about how parenting in today's world, this generation, so if you're a parent, your generation is very different than the generation before your parents' generation, right? We are raising our children pretty much on our own, when the generation before us or even previously had a whole village or many other people there to help with raising this child, right? Your child. And maybe you grew up in like a very big family. Maybe you grew up with like, your parents had like a lot of friends, and you were constantly watched over by many people, not just your parents, your grandparents, all this stuff, right? For us, raising your children now, it's very different, and there's been a lot of studies talking about that. But the biggest difference between our generation and the previous generation that we are doing different is we are being present in our children's life, and that actually is the medicine that our children need. Presence is so important. I want to talk about, from a spiritual lens, what does presence mean? So presence isn't just about being there, right? Like being in the same room as your child and watching them, right? It's about actually being not only physically there, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually there with your child. If you think about it, one of the main principles of spiritual law and mindfulness and many different religions, if you go down, the main thing that they say is everything happens in the present moment. All miracles, all blessings, life in itself is happening in the present moment. And when you can tap into that present moment, you're actually living life. 90% of our life is not lived in the present. It's actually lived in the past or in the future. And when you're sitting with your child, presence really means you're like there. Like if they're playing with blocks, you're playing with blocks with them, you're present. There's nothing within your body that is pulling you back to the past or to the future. That's presence. And when you can give that type of presence, when you can give that type of attention to your child, that energy that you're giving them is actually medicine. And what does that mean when I say medicine? It's pure love. It's unconditional love. Like they cannot get anything more than that. And that's actually what they ask for. So I don't know if you've had this experience where you've, been with your child and they're doing something, they're asking for your attention, maybe you're on your phone or maybe you're doing something else, and they're waiting for you to pay attention to them, and all of a sudden they throw a tantrum, right? Because you're not paying attention to them. They're getting your attention because they want you to be present. And the reason why children want us to be present in their lives, especially at a younger age, like I'm talking about between the ages of 1 and 7, 1 and 8, is because we are their safety, especially mothers, right? So as a mom, as the nurturer of the family, we are the ones that are giving that safe zone and that safety, that understanding of what safety means to our children. And so when we can be present with them, we're allowing them to understand that they're safe in this space, right? And then when we can be present with them and we can push them to go beyond. So like, let's say you're at the park, right? And you're there, you're very present with them. You're not hovering over them. You're asking them to go and play on the other side, go play with this kid. They know that you're there, and they're able to feel safe within their nervous system and explore, because they know that their parent, their mom, their dad, is always been present in their life, and so they're growing that safety within their nervous system. And this is really important, okay? Because if you think about it in your life, your parents' life, our generations before, we weren't taught how to feel safe. The majority of the healing that we're doing is to rewrite the programming within our nervous system to feel safe, okay? Things like anxiety, depression, ADHD, ADD, all of these things are related to the fact that our nervous system does not feel safe, because it had to somehow, in some point in time, some point in life, learn to figure out what safety meant, but it didn't have the opportunity to, because it was always responding to a situation or to an environment. And so it just learned how to be reactive instead of proactive. And so this is why being present is so important, because you're teaching your child that, hey, I'm here, I'm present, you're safe, everything's good, right? And if we look at it from a spiritual lens, isn't that what we're looking for too? Isn't that all we're looking for is for those that love us, and also from spirit, from God, that presence of like somebody always there, that's there to love us, to support us, to be there for us, to help us grow, and to try out the things that are very uncomfortable for us, because we know that we're never going to fall. That's a very interesting question that maybe you can journal on this week, but that is the truth, right? The universe always has our back. Spirit always has our back. Spirit is always there with us and is always present. Even when we think that God, Spirit, universe is not there, it's always there. It's always there to protect you. It's always there to support you. It's always there to push you. But it's like that parent that at the park that's there, not hovering, not like right on top of you, but like just there and watching and allowing their child to explore. That is the same role that Spirit has within our life, asking us to go and explore life, asking us to go and, face our fears, to do the things that are challenging for us. And so when we can do that, when we can have that growth, we can be even more present and have the presence in our child's life to see their life from the lens of our healing, right? Because they say that as parents, we're actually only healing our children, we're only raising our children from our healed version of us, right? So if we are only at a certain level of our healing journey, we can only parent them from that place. This is part of conscious parenting. It's about having that awareness of like when you're actually in the space with your child, what is the energy that you're in? What is it that you are going through at that time, and taking the time and space to step away from it so you can be present and you can be around them with the energy that you are looking to nurture them with. And so that's pretty much it for today's video, for today's soul chat. For this week's homework, you can definitely use a journaling prompt of what is it that you're looking for from Spirit, in terms of what does presence mean to you? And if Spirit was ever present, which Spirit is, but let's just say Spirit was ever present for you, what does that feel like? What would that allow you to do and be? And the second thing I want you to do in terms of homework, if you don't want to do the journal prompt or if you want to add it on, is to actually just sit with yourself for a little bit and think about, what does it mean to be present in my child's life? How can I be present? How can I be more there with them? What are the things that I can do to allow myself to be present? Okay. And maybe you identify like certain blocks. So maybe like you're always with your child and then you have your phone and then you get distracted by your phone. Maybe there's other distractions, right? Just think about it. Think about what it is that you can do to be present with your child. And if you do this, I want you to also note and have the awareness of how this shifts the energy between you and your child, and how it shifts the relationship, because it will 100% it will. And I want you to have a journal of like writing that down, of understanding like, okay, now that I've shifted myself and now that I'm present with my child, here are the things that started to happen, and this is really awesome. And bring gratitude for all. Okay? I love you all so much. Peace, love, and light. Namaste.